Christian poet's recent YouTube posting entitled "Why I Hate Religion But Love Jesus" has snagged more than 17 million views, and very quickly. So what's generating all the interest? Our next guest believes it has something to do with the disillusionment young people have with hypocritical religion. Joining us to discuss it, Rev Johnny Moore, Vice President and Campus Pastor at Liberty University, also the author of Honestly, Really Living What We Say We Believe. Great to see you today. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Shannon.
The video is pretty amazing. I mean, it talks about the fact that Jesus didn't come to this earth to talk about religion or back religion. He actually challenged religious leaders. Is that something that you feel like young people are engaging in as well these days?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of the statistics with the millennial generation shows them as believing everything their parents believe, but largely unaffiliated. You know, so 59% of 18 to 29-year-olds that were in church no longer regularly attend church, but only 29% say they don't believe anymore. And so it's kind of an orphan generation. They believe these things, but they don't know where to live those beliefs out.
What about the fact that in the New Testament there's a lot of talk about being in a community of believers? Is it about your particular church or about a particular religion? What's the bottom line message?
Yeah, I mean, faith has to be lived out in a community. I mean, Jesus could have done all kinds of things when he came. He didn't arrive in Rome or in Alexandria. He arrived in a feeding trough. That was his manger, right? There were animals that were there, and he didn't come with the perfect physique of a Greco-Roman god. How did he come? I mean, he came like a man, like maybe men would believe a God that looks like them. And so I think that a lot of Christians are really trying to figure out, what does it really, really mean if I'm going to follow Jesus with my life? And does that have to be lived out in a big church building with a bunch of people that don't seem to really relate to me? And then you throw hypocrisy in the mix. I mean, for 2,000 years, hypocrisy has been Christianity's biggest problem. Christians say one thing, and they do something else. Secular people get mad about that. Christian people know it exists, but we don't do something about it. And so I think what Jeff's video has done is it's just awakened everybody to say, you know, there's got to be more than this, than just what we've seen.
How do you, as a pastor and folks that are leaders of other religions, how do they reach out to young people? You cite the statistics, and we see that people in the 18 to 29 range are much less religiously affiliated and plugged in than, you know, their older generations at that same age. I mean, they're not connecting. How do you reconnect them?
Well, every generation gap is a communications gap. That's what it is. That people are talking and people aren't listening to one another. And you know, all of us know a young person, you know, and everyone that goes to church knows young people. I mean, for me, you know, right before my parents' divorce, I had a Sunday school teacher that took me under his wing, taught me how to read the Bible. That's largely why I'm a pastor today. And then I found out the pastor that was counseling my parents had been simultaneously in an affair with another pastor's wife. And that didn't destroy my faith, because I had a grounded faith, because someone mentored me. And I think that's what's happened. The church is kind of, they don't know how to communicate to these young people. It's the first digitally native generation. They're living in this social world. They don't know what to do. Well, you don't have to be a digital native to prove to someone that you care about them. And I think that's what it starts with. It starts with good, authentic, honest conversations. Not just about the Bible and church, but about life. Faith goes on the rhythm and on the trail of relationships. That's where things come from.
The personal touch.
Yeah.
All right, Rev Johnny Moore, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
All right, Ron Paul has long been the darling of the college